Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. It's a by-election review video, but there's only one by-election to actually look at. But we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about the Angela Rayner news that has sort of happened over the last week and came to a head earlier today on Friday the 5th of September. Obviously she's gone now, resigned all of her positions in government and resigned her position as a deputy leader of the Labour Party. So we're going to have a quick look at that after the by-election roundup, and also looking at a comment that one of you made on the previous video that I thought was very, very perceptive, and we'll just have a look at that as well. So thank you very much for being here. We'll get straight into the by-election. So it was in Stopsley Ward in Luton. Now, previously, it was only a two-horse race between Labour and the Liberal Democrats in this ward. As you can see, this time a number of other parties joined the fun. Now, it's quite an interesting one. It is a Liberal Democrat hold in this constituency. They got in this ward. Sorry, they got 41.3% of the votes still, but down 36.3%. Now, seems dramatic, but of course, like I say, we've gone from a very polarised situation of a straight fight between Labour and the Liberal Democrats to a much more multifaceted election with other parties standing. So you would expect to see a reduction in the vote share. I think what's interesting is the Liberal Democrats declined by 36.3% and the Reform Party improved by 36.2%. So almost exact parity there in terms of Liberal Democrat loss to Reform gain. Of course, Labour Party stood last time. They declined by 11%, losing half their vote from last time, essentially 22% down to 11. I'm sure most of that went to pretty much all of the Green vote probably came from Labour there, 3.8%, Tories and 6.7% probably from the Liberal Democrats, but I don't know. And this is what's interesting. It's just we don't often see a sort of Liberal Democrat versus Reform dichotomy. It's normally Reform Tory, Reform Labour, and Lib Dem Tory or Lib Dem Labour. It doesn't tend to be Reform versus the Liberal Democrats. So just quite interesting to see Reform coming out as the clear challengers here, not that far behind the Lib Dems. I don't know, the area of Luton. I don't know the local knowledge or anything like that. If you do know, please do get in the comments and let me know, because that's why I like reading your guys' comments and seeing what you have to say, because you have different perspectives. A lot of that is to do with that comment I mentioned about Angela Rayner we're going to go over in a minute. So let me know if you have any knowledge. And in all fairness, look, Reform are, according to the Nowcast, Reform are winning both of the Luton seats. So perhaps we would, expect to see Reform doing quite well in a Luton ward. That would make sense. That's all to say, really. Interesting result. Liberal Democrats hold is the main thing. Reform in second place. So let's have a quick look at this Angela Rayner stuff. Then these stories, the scandal as it is. I want to dive straight into it with this comment that I saw last time, which hopefully should be emerging on your screen as we speak. So Kim Thomas said, and it's the second half of the comment that I found very, very perceptive, and I hadn't thought about this until I read this comment. So Kim Thomas said, "I think Angela Rayner knows that she won't be re-elected, so might be planning to try and Hove, which is why she's bought an 800,000 property there." Very perceptive comment, very intelligent comment, and that's why, like I say, that's why I love you guys getting in the comments and let me know what you guys think, because you do see things from a different perspective, and I think this is absolutely correct. It's a very, very good point. If we go to Ashton-under-Lyne up in Greater Manchester, this is Angela Rayner's current seat, as you can see there. Look, you can see she's a sitting duck there. Whoever stands for Labour in Ashton-under-Lyne is a sitting duck. They're 18% behind the Reform Party now, which just goes to really highlight just how dramatically Reform have or are changing, the shape and the characteristics of the British political map. This was a very, very safe Labour seat until the last 12 months, and Reform are storming ahead here now. So Ashton-under-Lyne, she's a sitting duck. Compare that to down in Hove and Port Slade on the southeast coast, where she just bought that property, which has sort of led to her downfall now. And Labour are a similar amount ahead there compared to what they are behind in Ashton. So I think that comment's absolutely spot on. I think the plan was for Rayner, perhaps still is for Rayner. The plan was to jump ship in Ashton under Line, where she was a sitting duck, and parachute herself into Hove and Port Slade, where she would probably win comfortably, regardless of what happens. I think that may well have been the plan for her. Now, like I say, it may still be the plan for her, because I'm not entirely sure this actually ends her political career. I know that's the sort of prevailing theory at the moment, but I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see on that. Where does it leave Labour? This whole story about Angela Rayner. If you don't know, I'm sure you do, but Angela Rayner bought a property in Hove. There have been questions over the amount of stamp duty tax that she paid. She eventually admitted that she underpaid the tax, and then shortly after that she's resigned her position in the government and resigned as the deputy leader of the Labour Party. If you haven't read any of that, it's all very much available online. I'm not going to go into any more detail on it than that. What does it do for Labour? Well, it's Labour in crisis, isn't it? I mean, they've been in crisis really from day one, frankly. From the moment that they decided to scrap the winter fuel allowance for pensioners, it's been Labour in crisis. From that moment on, it's been crisis after crisis after crisis, and this is just another one now. The cabinet's been reshuffled around as well. From the top of my head, I haven't got the information in front of me. From the top of my head, David Lammy now is the Deputy Prime Minister and the Justice Secretary. Shabana Mahmood has moved from the Justice Secretary position to the Home Secretary. Yvette Cooper, who's left the Home Secretary to become the Foreign Secretary. Those are the main movers. There are others in the Cabinet, but those are the big offices of state. And obviously Angela Rayner no longer in the Cabinet. So, like I say, it's Labour in crisis. It's panic stations. It's desperation. Some will say it's rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. Look, the map shows just how desperate a position Labour are in. We've mentioned it in previous videos. They are very much restricted now to the urban inner city areas, London, Manchester, Liverpool in particular, and outside of that, they really are struggling everywhere. You know, look at South Wales. South Wales is just incredible how much this has changed. One Labour constituency in the entirety of Wales, Cardiff South and Penarth, and they're only 3% ahead there. So, you know, they are being eaten up by reform in most places. In other places, they're being eaten up by Gaza independence. In other places, the Greens are hot on their heels. They just, and of course, we've still got Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana's party to sort of enter the fray, and we'll see if they you know, how much damage they'll do to Labour as well. They might start eating into them in the inner city areas, and that really would finish them off. So yeah, that's all I have to say on the matter, really. Bad to worse for Labour. The crisis continues. Starmer's constantly putting out fires, or having to put out fires, some of his own making, and yeah, it's looking very, very, very difficult for Labour. And that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. In terms of the by-election stuff, obviously only the one this week. Next week, we have got quite a different story. It's all going off next week. Bournemouth down in the southwest, central Bedfordshire, Cheshire East, Vale of Glamorgan, Walsall, West Suffolk. So there's a number next week. It's a busy week next week. So if you want to see some by-election review coverage next week as well, please do subscribe to the channel now if you haven't already. And of course, hit the notification bell so you don't miss the video when it comes out. If you could drop a like on the video, that'd be much appreciated. And of course, please do get involved in the comments with your opinions and your perception on perceptions on things, because as Kim Thomas showed, quite often they are very, very interesting, and I'll try and involve some more of your comments in future videos as well. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. We'll be back next week, if not before, but certainly back next week with this by-election roundup that with all these coming up, and I will see you on that one. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next week.